Hey, what's going on, guys? Botch TV here, and I'm here with another character profile. So, we are on to Bella Durov now. Bella Durov, the Moscow product. She is a Russian, as you can tell by the attire. The old school hammer and sickle, the red and yellow, the Soviet Union. I was going to go for something else initially for Bella Durov when she was created in 2K19. It was the traditional Russian flag, the blue, red, and white, but I wanted to go for something different this time and go for a little bit more old school, the red and yellow, the Red Army, the Soviet Union, and to represent the country, obviously the hammer and sickle representing the workers and communism and all that, and you know, the Russian history. So I really wanted to represent that. So the backstory for Bella Durov is a pretty sad one. So her grandmother had raised her because her parents were unfortunately not a part of her life. Her father was killed trying to scale the Berlin Wall, even as a Russian. You know, they were in Berlin and obviously East and West Berlin, and a lot of people were killed. I believe up to 400 or 500 people were killed trying to scale that Berlin Wall before it was knocked down in 1989. So that's kind of where her backstory had come from. Her grandmother had raised her up to the point where she wanted to be a wrestler. But unfortunately, you know, due to conflicts in Russia, I kind of used the Ukrainian and Russian conflict as kind of like a part of the story a little bit. She had to come to the U.S. and Brian Outlaw had helped her find a home, and she trained to be a wrestler and joined RCW, got a contract to RCW and joined us. So for Bella Durov, she's one of my favorite characters as of late. You know, when I first created her, I didn't think I was going to do much with her, but now I did a lot with her since then. She was in a big rivalry with Bailey. I wanted her rivalry to, her first one, to be a pretty big one, and that story was pretty fun to do with her and Bailey. And now that Bailey's got damage control, it's going to be even more fun now going forward. But I wanted Bella Durov's like first major rivalry to be, you know, something meaningful. So I had a rival with Bailey, and she calls her finishers the Fist of Stalin, which is a quote from Nikolai from Black Ops, like the Fist of Stalin up your ass. You know, that was kind of where that came from. The Red Scare is her finisher. One of her finishers. The Red Scare obviously being the whole communism bad type thing during the Cold War, where they tried to make people scared of, you know, Russians and make everybody scared of Russians because of the Cold War time period. History is one of my favorite subjects, so I really wanted to use that time period as a huge part of Bella Durov's character. The Cold War, communism, the rise of socialism, and that sort of thing. So I really wanted to use that, and that's why, you know, the hammer and sickle beats the hammer and sickle every time. You know, and so I wanted to do that, and her second finisher is Viva de la Moscow. You know, she's from Moscow, Russia, so for her entrance song, I used the song by Rammstein, Moscow. It just made sense with the Russian in it. And I just love the beginning of it, which translates to, this song is about the best city in the world, Moscow. And, you know, that song just plays. It just fits her character, it fits her story, because she is from Moscow, so it definitely does fit her story. And, you know, I plan to do something more with her to where it's going to be you know, an even bigger thing for her, along with some of the other international superstars on the roster, like Tanaka Hamiko, Erika Lunden, obviously Eliza being from Germany. That's the previous profile that we did. Definitely check that out over on the channel too as well. I plan to do a lot more big things with her, but You know, I love coming up with these backstories and making these characters more unique. However, Bella Durov does not have a custom facial texture. She just has the generic in-game face. So for 2K23, she may have another face. You know, just to make it a little bit more. But I think that even then you don't need to have a custom facial texture to your character to make them all good. You can manipulate the head and stuff like that of the templates and still make a good looking character. So I still think we were able to make her a unique character despite not having a custom facial texture on her or anything like that. So my uniqueness of characters really comes from the stories. And so with Bella Durov, I really wanted to use the history of Russia, and you know, I started learning a little bit of Russian too as well. And you know, it's Brian Outlaw teaching her English, and you know, Sky Outlaw, she's the head of talent relations, so she's the one that's in charge of flying to places and going to sign people. So sometimes I'll use Microsoft Flight Simulator to simulate flights from JFK Airport, which is in New York City, to a certain destination. And so the process of signing Bella Durov was Sky traveling to Moscow, Russia, to get her and to sign her, along with Brian, you know, and this was before part of the conflict was going on. And so, you know, initially, Bella knew that there was some turmoil within her home country that she had to get out of, and eventually she did. And she found herself in the United States with Brian and the rest of the Outlaw family to join RCW. And she's been a popular character as of late. A lot of the people like her. A lot of the public reception of her is pretty damn good. And so, you know, I really wanted to do these character profiles and really explain the stories of all these characters, or at least the major ones, just to give you a little bit more of an idea of where these characters came from. And I feel like Bella Durov is one of those characters that, you know, is very mysterious. You just see the hammer and sickle, so you know that she's Russian, you know. And obviously with the Moscow and the smoke and everything else, you know, it just fits the entrance. And she's a beautiful character. She's a great character, and I'm so happy that we were able to make something awesome out of her. And eventually, you know, I'm going to make her champion. You know, she's gone through her turmoils of, you know, not being able to win the big one, as our current women's champion, Deonna Purrazzo, the Virtuoso, would say. But I'm building a story to where when she finally gets that title, it's going to mean everything to her. It's going to mean something. And I'm excited for 2K23 to come out so we can continue the story of Bella Durov. It's going to be an exciting chapter. And hopefully you guys enjoyed this little character profile on Bella Durov. She's an absolutely amazing character. And definitely make sure to check out some of the RCW videos so you can see her in action against the roster that we've had for quite some time now. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I will catch you guys on another video.